Hello everybody and welcome back to my first review on this channel. I'm doing BabySitter Killer Queen on Netflix, which is also a Netflix exclusive, so if you haven't got Netflix you'll be able to watch it. The Babysitter, basically I'm just going to get straight into it. It's a comedy horror. I personally don't believe it is a horror film for me because the horror isn't scary for me. It might be scary for some people, but I doubt it will be because it isn't that scary. I also believe that it is a comedy, but it depends what your type of comedy or humour is. Some people may find it really funny, others may find it mildly funny, some people may never find it funny at all. I myself will like a mildly funny. I love a comedy film, or just comedy itself, so I could have a good laugh, but I would say maybe laugh loads. Feel that some of the aspects in the film were predictable and you could quite happily see them coming, like situations or scenarios, because they didn't build up to it in the scenes, or they just rushed the scene, if that makes sense. Like, they're just sent to not put as much detail into the scenes on some of the aspects of the film. I don't want to give spoilers away, so I'm not going to try and mention parts of the film or bits in the film, so it's making it a bit more difficult for me to come straight to. But moving on, I did like the fact that they brought back the original cast from the first film, which obviously in the film it's about a 2-year gap, I believe, from the first scenario in the first film, but I think in real life it's about 4 years. So all the original cast came back, which made it a better film, because if they made a completely new cast with new characters, I wouldn't have felt it would have been as good, because obviously we didn't know anything about these characters. We didn't know their morals to do this. So I definitely like the fact that they reprised the roles, the actors. I personally prefer the deaths in the first film to the second film. I felt the deaths in the second film they weren't as good. And that sounds weird. Death is good, but in the first film the deaths were a lot more built up. Like the deaths that each character got had a reason for how they died. In this film they all died in just different ways, which I didn't particularly like, because they didn't have a reason to die in that way, as in the first one they sort of did. I also found that some of the scenes were just boring and quite rushed, which in the first film they did a lot better. If you did see the first film, which you probably, I don't know, you might not have done, I'm going to spoil some of this film for you now. The scene where it's like a sacrifice scene, it was just so rushed into and out of nowhere. But if you looked at the characters and everything, you could tell which ones were going to die and which ones were going to live. But overall, I would recommend giving it a watch if you just want to watch something new, or you want to see what it's like. If you want to watch a comedy, yeah, watch it. If you want to watch a horror, don't watch it for a horror film, because it just isn't scary to be a horror film, in my opinion. If you want to watch a good horror film, I'll give you some recommendations. That is It. I know probably everyone's seen it by now, but It Chapter 2 as well. Us. That's a very good psychological horror film. There's Friday the 13th, all them, Halloween's. The list goes on for horror films. Insidious, all them. But obviously, this is a film you could watch by yourself, with friends, with your family. It's a film you could just do whenever you want. You don't have to be like in the day at night, because some people like to watch horror films at night because it's scarier. But don't really matter. But if you are going to watch it, I definitely do recommend watching the first one, watching the first one before you watch the second one, because if you don't, you won't really understand what's going on and who the characters are. Both are on Netflix. and both are about an hour and a half long. The second one, definitely, completely on the topic, definitely could have been a lot longer, I feel. So I think it's about an hour and a half to about an hour and 45 minutes, the second one. I think the first one's an hour and a half as well, so but that's a good time limit, and they got in what they need to. As in the second one, I felt like they could have pushed it to 2 hours to 2 hour and a half. As I know some people don't want to watch a film that long, or people will say they're just dragging it out. I felt like you wouldn't be dragging out because you'd get a lot more done and there'd be a lot more development in the film with characters and the story itself. So I would push the numbers up, but yeah, you could watch them back to back within 3 to 4 hours with breaks. So if I were gonna give it a review, my overall review, sorry, and my overall, just my overall review, I'm gonna give it out of a 10. The score, I'm gonna give it a solid 6.5 because it could have been a lot better, it also could have been a lot worse. If you want me to do a review on the first Babysitter, I happily will. Or if you want any review to literally review anything, not clothes, music, films, TV, video games even, I will happily do that. Just let me know in the comments if you want to see a particular one. I will try and get around to doing it. Can't promise I can, but I will keep doing videos that I can review of ones I've already watched. I hope you all liked. I do apologise for any breaks or where I've like gone, cause I'm just basically it's just my brain trying to word it, just trying to come up with some stuff on the spot as well. Trying to drag this on, to be honest. Yeah, but obviously comments. Obviously, say how I can improve. Say what you want to see. I mean, yeah, please leave a like if you also enjoyed, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.